So, here's an announcement for all of you, all of our faithful viewers out there. As you know, the RWBY Report, as well as our now somewhat defunct but still hilarious series of RWBY React for RWBY Chibi, end up right here on the Super Kame Review channel. But we also have a gaming channel called Kame Crew Gaming, where there are a few game videos made by yours truly, as well as several videos made by our wonderful editor Delta, our awesome player Ultra, a couple from Natsu, a very long and mildly entertaining playthrough of a Yu-Gi-Oh game by our very own Chaos King, and also on the horizon, a thorough breakdown and world sightseeing tour of all the intricacies of the division done by me. Now, that channel, Kame Crew Gaming, is getting close to 100 subscribers. Now, I know that doesn't sound like much. It sounds pretty crappy compared to a lot of other gaming channels out there. But listen, we here in the Kame Crew Circle have decided that if Kame Crew Gaming can get to 100 subscribers before December 31st of this year, so before the last day of 2017, we're going to be doing a giveaway. What kind of giveaway? Well, depends on what you want. Really can't say any more than that, but it'll be good. If you want to have a chance at being part of this giveaway, you're going to have to be subscribed to the channel before we hit 100, as well as have your subscriptions public so we can actually see that you're subscribed. Once we do, there will be a video released on the channel, on the gaming channel, saying that what the giveaway is actually for and how the actual drawing will work. There's going to be a link in the description in this video that links directly to the gaming channel. So head over there, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, and get ready to win some sweet, sweet loot. And guess what? It's loot you don't have to pay for, like you do in Shadow of War. Topical! As always, I am your intrepid reporter, Joe Mohawk 2694. And I give you all a hearty welcome from Haven.
Oh god, my mind's blanking. I can't remember anything.
Holy crap! So, new season, new series, new hijinks, new enemies, old problems, and a whole lot of drunk Crow.
Can't a girl read her comics in peace? Crow, did you get drunk again?
Maybe.
Let's get to it.
I watched the episode last night. Was supposed to do the review, didn't do the review.
Holy crap! We see all 4 girls from Team RWBY this episode. And Yang is given more than 2 minutes of screen time.
Woke up, had to go to work. So my brain's basically like, hey, let's make you forget all that information.
Holy crap! So, we start off with Team Ranger and Crow talking about how cool Haven is as a place.
Oh my gosh, look at all the weapons!
It's kind of like Whiterun in Skyrim. Only thankfully there's no asshole telling you, have you been to the Cloud District? What am I talking about? Of course you haven't. You know, that guy. AKA walking meat pinata. Anyway, Team Ranger...
Also known as Team Ragnarok. Yeah, Team Ragnarok. If you put Crow in with Team Ranger, then it becomes Team Ragnarok. Delta put spelling on the screen. That's how you spell it.
Gets to Haven Academy, where Crow feels something is off.
No, this isn't right. Come on.
Everybody pulls out their weapon. Crow kicks down Professor Lionheart's door, only to have Professor Lionheart scream, fall back, and both him and Crow faint for half a second.
I hear a squirrel.
It's quite endearing. Then there's a long, drawn-out conversation where they talk about the next most important thing, the Spring Maiden, who was briefly brought up in Volume 4 between Raven and Crow. Crow mentions to Lionheart that Raven's most likely got the Spring Maiden. They just call her Spring because, unlike Amber, apparently the Spring Maiden doesn't deserve a name. We also find out what each maiden stands for.
Winter for the gift of creation, summer for destruction, fall for choice, and spring for knowledge.
Could anyone explain to me where the logic in that is?
There's a car.
If anything, either fall or winter should be destruction, since, that's when things are dead. Spring should most definitely be creation. How about spring creation, summer destruction, fall choice, winter knowledge? Like the story we heard back in Volume 3.
Poof.
Anyway, Crow brings it up that Raven most likely has the Spring Maiden because the Spring Maiden was a little bitch who couldn't handle her power and ran away. He then brings up on his scroll on the giant computer desk that Lionheart has, pretty much like Ozpin's back at Beacon, that where Raven's coordinates are. Then Lionheart comes over and goes boop a doop a doop, and the words out of my mouth exactly were, he just told Watts that location.
That's right.
We see a message and it flicks and it says copying.
He then comes up with some bullshit story saying that, he needs to convince people that he needs to convince the Council of Haven that he needs hunters and huntresses more than the city does to go on this rescue mission, and that's going to take a couple of weeks. Crow walks out, obviously not happy, and then Watts' W pops up and he says, we need to work on your improvisational skills, Lionel. So, Crow, despite the fact that in the office he was chugging on down on his whiskey flask, says he needs to go get a drink. That's where we see the very hilarious scene of Oscar and Ozpin asking for Ozpin's cane back in the bar. And it's here that we learn the tone difference that we saw when Volume 2 was first announced, and we saw that one image of Ruby holding Weiss going, no! And then we found out it was just a food fight, and Ruby being overly dramatic. We thought that the reunification of Crow and Ozpin through Oscar was going to be some serious thing. No. Oscar comes to the house where Team Ranger is staying. He says, is Ruby Rose here? And Jean, Nora, and Ren are all like,
why?
Well, I found him.
And Crow staggers in, drunk off his ass. And drunk Crow is best Crow because he's like, I did it! I found him! And then Ruby comes out and she's like, can't a girl read her comics in peace? And then she sees Crow's drunk and she's like, Crow, are you drunk again?
He's always drunk.
Maybe. So then Oscar reveals that he is Professor Ozpin, and Crow goes, I did it! And falls off the couch. That's where the episode ends. But that's not where my report ends, because next up is Weiss, who is almost clear of the border of Atlas on her cargo ship.
I really should have watched the episode again before doing this review.
And she's up in the cabin talking with the pilot, and they intercept a message from a group of people whose airship got brought down for one reason or another, and they're being attacked by Grimm, obviously. And the guy's like, I'm not equipped to fight. This is a cargo ship. My ship, my rules. Sorry, kid. So Weiss is obviously a little pissed off about that, and that's all we see of Weiss this episode.
Beep.
Hopefully she doesn't get the Yang treatment. That's like the most screen time she gets all volume. Hopefully. We then cut to Menagerie, where something nobody ever thought would happen happens. Sun and Gira agree on something?
Unbelievable!
Total garbage.
The thing that they agree on is that the two Assassin's Creed looking motherfuckers from the last volume were put on trial because of the scroll that Blake swiped off of Ilya. And they took it to the White Fang Council in Menagerie, but unfortunately there wasn't enough concrete proof on it to link those guys, and by extension Adam, to the terrorist act. Well, they know Adam is acting well outside the bounds of the White Fang in Menagerie, but there wasn't enough concrete evidence to link those two assholes to Adam. So instead, Ilya ends up taking the fall for Assassin's Creed Furry Edition. So after what happened last volume, there is security now posted at the Belladonna residence. And Blake immediately sends that guard inside so that she can have a moment to think, when Ilya comes down and says, "It's too late. Just get out of Menagerie while you still can." And Blake, being the naive little pussy she is, says, "You're gonna have to make me." And Ilya's like, "I know." And then she puts on her mask again and walks away. Finally, we get Yang. And after her new character short that aired, where the final line of which was her saying to Ruby, "I've got your back and I'll always have your back," I thought she was going after Ruby. But no, she's going after Raven. We find out through a lot of deja vu, she's at a gas station that somehow has a bar. Don't ask me. And the guy asks her, "Aren't you a little young to be drinking?" And she says, "I just want a water. It's hot out." And the guy's like, "Oh, okay." He bends down to grab a water bottle, and this sleazeball dude at the end of the bar, I didn't even look up his name, he's just greasy sleazeball, looks over and starts saying all the pervy stuff you'd expect. "You're not old enough to drink. You look like a regular huntress. God, you're so pretty. You're so fucking gorgeous." And Yang is just like, "Dude, I'm good." Translation, fuck off, bro.
Well, at least you two can finally agree on something.
And the dude is like, "Your hair is so pretty." And that was the moment I knew he was done. Smacks him in the face, sends one of his teeth flying, and then the dude proceeds to get pinballed up off the ceiling, the floor, and the walls before going boink-a boink-a boink out the door. So, the barkeep gives her her drink for free, so this place already has way better service than Junior's Club ever did, because Yang still is waiting on her strawberry sunrise. And she tells the barkeep that she's looking for someone. Again, the same person, in fact, because the barkeep says the only person worth looking for out here is Raven Bronwyn. So, that's where I predict that's going. Watts and his goons are gonna show up at Raven's camp looking for Spring. Yang's gonna show up at the exact same moment looking for Raven, and when she sees Watts and his ne'er-do-wells, she's going to stop them. So she finishes her drink, she heads outside, her new outfit looks fucking amazing. Way better than her plain clothes back at Patch, that's for sure. And the same guy she just beat the shit out of, turns to her and says, "Hey, Blondie." And Yang's like, "Dude, really?" And he's like, "I heard you're looking for someone." And he gives her this grin and then shows the spot where his tooth is missing. And I'm just like, that's really weird to offer to help her after you tried to molest her and she proved she can kick your sorry ass. I mean, obviously I don't trust that guy. I don't trust Lionheart in the slightest. I don't really trust anybody right now aside from Ruby, Weiss, and Yang. You notice I left Blake out because I don't trust her either. After last volume where she showed that all she was really good for was turning people into her mental, physical, and oral punching bags, I don't really trust the kitty cat. Sorry. I'm sorry. Anyway, that's episode 1 of Volume 5. Holy shit, it's good to be back.
Do you two mind? Do you mind? I'm doing a walking review. Thank you, dogs.
So, until next time, my fellow hunters and huntresses, this has been JoeMock2694 saying, see ya! And RWBY is back.
What is wrong with me?